Hello everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for watching Trendy with Allison. And remember, your likes, your comments, your subscribes, all of your reviews, they just help the show grow. So I really appreciate that. Today's guest, you guys, Cam Morris Barclay. She gave a wealth of information. She even introduced me, you guys. I couldn't even get it out of my mouth, to a new app called ShearShare. It's like an Airbnb for hair salons. Never heard of it. It's amazing. You guys are going to enjoy her. And as we continue our celebration of Black hairdressers for the month of February, and it doesn't have to be February, but just makes it extra special that it's Black History Month. Alrighty, you guys, enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trendy with Allison. Today, I have Cam Morris Barclay. Did I get that right, Cam?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm excited to introduce her because she has moved to my state of Arizona, and I'm excited to pick her brain and see how all of that works transitioning to a new city. And as I understand, this is not the first time. It's not her first rodeo. So that's going to be interesting to share. We're going to showcase some of the styles that I selected and what caught my eye when I reached out to her on Instagram. And she's very talented. She specializes in textured hair, from what I can tell. Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, so we're going to pick her brain. It sounds like she has a family, all the things. So let's get inspired, everybody. Cam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here. So let's get a little bit into your background. What inspired you? When did you get your start? What inspired you to do hair? And how long have you been in the industry?
Well, what inspired me to start doing hair back in high school, I used to kind of change my hairstyles all the time. And I had the opportunity to take a year in a cosmetology program in the high school that I went to. And that kind of led me to wanting to pursue that after graduation. In that program, I wasn't able to finish with my license just because I only did it my senior year and you had to do it for 2 years. And so before starting beauty school, I kind of went to a community college and was trying to go that route. And I was going to go for business because I knew I wanted to own a business, but it just wasn't. I didn't like it, to be honest.
I feel that you're telling my story, but go on.
So after my first year of college, I went ahead and enrolled myself into beauty school because I was like, that was fun and I enjoyed doing it. And I have a sister in New York that is a hairstylist. And I was just like, she just seems like she's partying all the time, just having a good time and making money. And it just seemed like it was very interesting. So I decided to enroll. While in beauty school, I had the opportunity to begin assisting. That was in 2007.
Okay.
So I've been in the industry. Got my license in 2010, so it's been 14 years now. But I had the opportunity to assist a hairstylist in my local city in Sunrise, Florida, where I grew up, and he was just into short hair, pixie cuts, relaxed texture. A lot of his clientele, he's a Chinese Jamaican guy. So a lot of his
Wow,
clientele, very
interesting.
interesting. I had never really, my parents were Jamaican, so that's kind of how I even heard of him, just because the community in South Florida is huge. But when I got to actually working with him, all of these different textures, very thick, just beautiful biracial hair, like definitely something that I've never encountered before. So I got to I was his right hand. And for a year while I was in school, I learned everything I could by being in that environment. So after graduation, I kind of gravitated towards short hair cutting just because that's what I learned. That's what I saw every day, aside from whatever I learned in school. So yeah, so I just continued after that and tried to start building my client base. And it just felt at that moment, I don't know if you've ever assisted, but you feel like you're
Oh
living in
yeah,
someone's shadow, if that makes any sense. So
it
you
does
never feeling
totally.
like you're good enough in that sense because,
Yep.
oh my, he's amazing. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm good, but he's amazing. So you're feeling like always comparing yourself. But he was very uplifting, very like, come sit, stand right here. Do you see how I'm holding my hand? Very open to sharing information. I'm forever grateful for that experience, because he never ever made me feel like I'm just his assistant. You know what I mean?
You know, that's the sign of a good mentor. A lot of people, when they have, or a lot of seasoned stylists, when they bring on assistants, they promise all of these things. I'm going to teach you the ropes. I'm going to show you what I know. But what they really want is for you to sweep the floor and fold the towels, right?
Right,
So,
right.
you know, that's when you know you're in the right place, when someone is taking the time to do that, because you oh, I'm sorry, your camera froze for a second. You know, because I this gatekeeping thing makes no sense to me. It never has, because no one has your hands, your brain, your anything. You're still always going to be you. You can literally teach two people the exact same thing, and it'll look like two different haircuts every single time.
Absolutely.
You're always going to put your little sauce on it, right? Your little stamp of whatever it is that makes you you.
But you only learn that over time. In the
Right.
beginning, you're thinking like, I got to
Yep.
be better than this person or else they're not
Yep.
going to stay with me. But it's not even about how they do your hair. It's about how you make them feel, how you make the client feel, and how you welcome them, and how you recover from any mistakes. Because all these big wigs are still making mistakes. And that's just not what they're showing on Instagram.
Of
So,
course. Yeah.
right.
You
So
get the highlight reel.
exactly, exactly. So
Hmm.
assisting has tremendously benefited me. Even 15, 14 years, later, like there's nothing I can't pay for that kind of experience, you know?
Absolutely. So let's talk about that experience, your techniques and your styles. So you said you gravitated toward short hair because, as we know, we're a product of our environment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so your work showcases a variety of styles and techniques. What are some of your favorite techniques to use on your clients?
Um, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well,
I
let's pick
really
one.
okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you very
So
much.
she comes in, she has
Mm-hmm.
short hair.
Mm-hmm.
You find a shape in it.
Yeah.
Clearly, I mean, and that style is intentional. Every curl done with love, girl. So
when
clearly
you
you
when you break it
enjoyed.
down like that.
That's something you
um
enjoy. Is that the majority, or do you have fun with this length? Because if I look at your page as in its entirety,
mhm,
most of your cuts are tapered short. So is
mhm.
that kind of where you like to live,
That's
or
where I like to live there. I like so a lot of times when people come to me, they're either struggling with the care of their hair, they might have been in braids for a long time, they're looking for something just something that to get rid of any dead ends and just start fresh. And that's typically what people have been coming to me for. So in this instance, this was my second time doing her hair. She had come, that was actually in a pop-up I did in New York last summer. And she had come to me in Arizona because her sister lives in Arizona and raved, and I'd done her hair, and she raved about me. So I came and did her hair, and she was like, "When are you coming to New York?" And she happened to still show up for me when I got to New York. So um,
and look at that. What does that
yeah,
say about building a community of people who you cultivate and just become a part of you? You know,
that's the thing.
that's
Yep,
amazing. Yeah, look at all of that. And then you saw a shape in that.
I did.
I mean, a strong shape on top of that.
What I love about doing short hair is the transformation, or that wow effect. You know what I mean? That wow factor after getting your hair cut. She was just turned 18, and her mom didn't want her to cut her hair short, and she the story behind it is so she just did, she was ready. She didn't want to cut her hair short, and she was like, "Come on, let's do it." It was literally like the day after her birthday, and she came to cut it all off. And I love that makes me feel so like empowered for them when I'm able to execute something that they're looking for. So yeah, that tapered. I like to keep it soft and feminine still, even though you're cutting off all your hair. A lot of women tend to feel or feel self-conscious about how they might look with shorter hair. But I like to keep a lot of length in the front at first and taper out the sides so that you're still feeling you have that bang area or that swoop if you straighten it out, and still feeling very feminine. So that's, I guess that's my style. A lot of times if you want to go shorter and more pixie, I always am like, are you sure before we get there? It's not, I'm not
Yep.
trying to discourage anyone. I just
Yep.
want to know that this is what you want to do, not because I suggested it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I would say that I can see exactly, you explained it perfectly well, because you kept the corners where they needed to be, the perimeter line, everything so strong that even though it's short, even though it's natural, that shape just pops. And that's when you know it's a good haircut, right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It is true. I know when people, a lot of times I give compliments, and whether it's a client or anybody, and they go, "Oh, you're so sweet." I'm like, actually, I'm not. I just tell the truth. I'm not sweet, because if I didn't think it,
I
would
wouldn't
not be
say it.
saying it. No,
Right,
you
right,
do an
right.
amazing job. How did you build and maintain strong relationships? Like, what with your clients? Like, how you left working for your Chinese Jamaican influenced mentor, which
Yeah.
I still want to, yeah, I'm going to have to revisit that when we're off camera, because I think that's
Okay.
interesting. My husband is Chinese, and
Awesome.
me, obviously, I'm African American. It's just an interesting dynamic. Two
Absolutely.
very fiery people
Very. Yep. And
coming together.
right.
He must be a firecracker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what did you do? Like, when you moved from Florida to New York to Arizona, can you talk a little bit about that and how you made that transition?
So during the pandemic, actually, I moved from Atlanta. So I'm
Oh,
originally from New York. I
you're
moved from
ready.
Atlanta.
Okay, there we go.
I have family, my sisters live there, and I had been living there from Florida for about 5 years. I moved there in 2017 or 16. And then during the pandemic, I moved here to Arizona about 2021, I believe, early 2021. I had my second son. And my fiance's job led him to here, and his brother had been living here already for a few years. And we visited here in like June of 2014. The
And you
worst thing
came
ever.
anyway. Oh, geez.
Right, right. Well, it took us years because I was like, "There's no way that you can pay me to be here." It was 120 degrees at nighttime, and
Ew.
I was just I couldn't understand. Right,
Yeah. And me, I'm a native, so I'm used to it. But ooh, yes,
right,
I can't even
right.
imagine experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah, it was insane, insane. So at that point, that was back in 2014, and I was just like, no, we're not moving. So fast forward to the pandemic, I was home on maternity leave, and so all of the salon that I was working in had closed, and I just ended up staying home just because I knew I was going to have a baby. And he was he had a job opportunity here with his brother, and he came out and checked it out. And after I had the baby, we moved, and I was just excited just because it's something new, and it's very clean here. It looks, everything is just bright and inviting.
Yep.
If yeah. So it was just kind of like, okay, fresh start. We'll start over. I have my Instagram. I know how to use Google. I'll just start from scratch, and that's it. So fast forward, we get here. I found a little salon, which I still am at, that, they were looking for a stylist, as a lot of salons typically are. And I kind of started part time because I had a new baby. So, daycare, I wasn't really ready to put him in daycare yet. And I have an older son as well. He's 10, Kai. He'll
Mhm.
be 11 at the end of the month.
Aw.
And yeah, I'm kind of able to be flexible with my schedule. Well, I need to be flexible with my schedule so that I can be home with them until they started, regular school and daycare. So um, the salon that I was working at, I'm an independent stylist, so I can come and go as I please. And the owner was just very flexible, and it ended up being just a really great opportunity for me.
Oh, that's nice. You were
Yeah.
going to talk a little bit about Google and growing your business. and social media. Let's chat
Yeah.
about that for a little bit.
So initially, when I got here, before I even found the, well, no, right as I found the salon space that I'm currently working in, I had taken a course maybe back in 2019, and it kind of guided you into a DM strategy. So basically, I had a script that I wrote, and was basically inviting new clients to come and sit in my chair and letting them know that I just came. I just moved here from the city that I moved from, and I was interested in working with like-minded ladies that are interested in textured hair care. And so what I did was basically just go on the explore page on Instagram and look for any photos that came up in the explore page that looked like my target audience. I had a specific avatar that I created, women who make a certain amount of money, who enjoy doing certain hobbies, whether it be Starbucks, Target, those type of things. And I would
What
just
is
go
this
under.
avatar you speak of? Avatar? What?
Yeah.
What is this?
Basically just the profile. It's a client profile, people who I want to work with.
Is
After
that
over these,
something that you create on Instagram, or do you just have that
no, that's
mapped
just
out in your
something
brain?
that, yeah,
You
I
know
just,
your
that's
client. You know who you're going for. Gotcha.
right. Because over the years, I mean, you work with some people that you love to work with, and then some people you hope never come back, just to be honest. And then it's just kind of like, okay, well, who are the ones that I like and not like me? You know what I mean? Who are the ones who were regular or or requested the services that you like to do? So after thinking of that and writing all of that down, although it's a very scary experience because a lot of people are like, you need money. Do you know how to do highlights? I'm doing highlights. If do you know how to do, braids? If that's what you do, then I'm doing braids, whether you like to do it or not. And I wasn't interested in that anymore. I decided that
Mhm.
since I'm starting over again, I'm gonna create the client base that I want. So that's the reason why all of that short hair is on my. It's intentional. All of that short hair, any color, and I do all hair textures. I don't discriminate at all. It's
Me
just
either.
right. So it's
Yeah.
just about who wants to be posted, honestly, because sometimes people don't want to be posted, and it also depends on what I've advertised on Google or anything like that. So, but yeah, so I created this picture of my perfect client, and that's what I've been trying to attract.
That
Um,
is amazing. That's great advice for aspiring stylists who may be coming into the industry or even people that are already in it. Like me, I've been in it for 29 years, but social media, I that wasn't my era, right? So I didn't need
right,
it at all. Thank God, because I'm getting into it now. Obviously, I have to, right? Because of what I'm trying to do.
right.
But it's got a class system. It's a world, ain't it?
It's a world. It's a world. And you don't even, well, me personally, I'm not really interested in social media at all, to be honest. This is only done because I know that that's what I need
Well,
to be able to.
it's free marketing, and you'd
Correct.
be foolish to not take advantage of it if you're trying to grow a business of any kind,
Absolutely.
honestly,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that the modern day stylist, do you think if you're starting over, like from 2007, that you would advise yourself go directly into social media, like
Yes.
just from day one,
Yes. Absolutely.
post every
Because
day?
every day, or at least figure out how to automate it the way that people are able to automate it, which is not easy either, because I like a little bit of control. So um but at least realize that it doesn't have to be hair that you're posting every day, and realize that people need to feel like you're active, and that's the reason why um, it's important to continuously post. Some people post 2, 3, 4 times a day, which is, unless I have somebody managing my page, that's tough to do. But at least to have a story going every couple of days. People obviously, I'm no by no means a social media guru at all, but what I've noticed and what has worked for me has been to at least post a story every other day so that people are aware that yes, I'm still here. Yes, I'm still doing hair, even if I haven't posted an actual photo to my feed in quite some time. And quite some time to me would be like 3 weeks or something like that. But at least I know I'm posting in my stories I have availability or I have openings on Thursday at 3 p.m. Click the link to book, because I do that.
No,
But
I appreciate you breaking that down. I don't think I've ever heard it explained in that simplistic form. You
mm,
know, everybody overcomplicates the explanation, and they start adding all these layers to it to where you just go right back in your little corner like, "Oh, you know what? I ain't doing none of that."
too
So,
much.
do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just to simply say you're the reason, because it's always most beneficial when you know the reason why. And I think
Mm,
that's the piece that gets lost when people are
yeah.
trying to explain. You know, engagement means it's like talking to someone who's not there if you don't post and you don't stay fresh on your page. Is in
Right.
other words, is what you're saying, yeah?
Yes. So even if a lot of times in the beginning, I personally would get caught up on, oh, I forgot to take my after photo. Even now, I have 500 photos in there that are befores and no afters, and you forget, because you're trying to give good customer service, if that's what you're trying to do, and you have people that are back to back, so you don't necessarily have time for a full blown photo shoot outside the salon while you have someone waiting for you in the lobby. So
Yeah.
I've learned that, so far I ask my clients, how did you find me? Always, even if they put it in my booking system, I think there's an option, but I always ask them, and I always, and they let me know, hey, I saw your page and I seen all of these different things, and that's why I found you. So I know that they're watching, because the likes don't necessarily match the the actual views, if that makes any
No,
sense.
it makes perfect sense because we can see that in the analytics, but your viewers can't.
Right,
They can
right,
only see the likes,
right.
you know?
So
Yeah. No,
but it's
I
still
I
important
totally.
not to get discouraged when you have 3 likes on something that you thought was amazing. It doesn't matter, because someone is seeing it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. It's very encouraging because social media is like all too frustrating. Let me tell you.
It
Oh,
is trying to figure it out, and then it changes. Literally every week it changes. And so you're like, okay, well, what do I have to do now? So I say
and does
just
the
keep on doing
song
it.
matter that you choose? Does are all these
Trending
things matter,
sounds.
don't they?
Yeah, trending sounds. But I don't follow that much, even though I'd like to. But I just choose songs that I feel like go with the conversation that I had with the client. To be honest, because a lot of times we'll be talking and we'll say, "Oh, remember when this used to happen?" Even if I didn't really know them, but we're from the same generation, then it's kind of like, okay, so now I'm gonna put Brandy because we talked about best friends. You know what I'm saying? And then that happens. If that happens to be a trending sound, then that works for me. But I'm trying to curate a vibe on my page that you're gonna get when you come in and see me.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, and clearly it's working for you.
It is. It
It's
is
working. I
working.
mean, I found you,
You did.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, and I would love to see more of women who look like me. I'll just say, it'd be nice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to try to find those quality stylists and get them to respond.
Yeah.
Let me just,
That's the
I'll
thing.
add that. And I'm not saying that. I'll just put it this way. I have a goal. I reach out to 10 people a week, and out of 10, 8 respond. So
That's
it's not
great.
like they're not responding. But then one week, 3 responded out of the 10. So, I mean, it's hit or miss, but I move forward because just like in my chair, I don't worry about who's not sitting in my chair. I cater to the ones who are. And with this show, I don't care who's not next to me on this screen. I'm going to
Right.
champion and showcase those who are.
Absolutely. Being
Yeah.
consistent. And I think being a business owner is that's what you realize. Even like
Yeah.
you said, who, depending on who's in your chair and who's not. This week, I may have one client for all the days that I'm available. Or
Yeah.
next week, I'll have literally all of my days booked up. And that can be scary, because you start second guessing yourself, like, did I do something wrong? Or, you know what I mean? You don't know
Yeah. Oh,
why
yeah. You
you're
make it
not
you.
busy. You make it you. And then all of a sudden, people you haven't seen in a year are like, hey, can I get in? Can I get, you know what I mean? Things happen like that. So it comes in
Yeah.
a wave.
Yeah.
So,
We've been talking all day. Like the other two stylists that I interviewed, the first stylist, he's so amazing. He does all bridal styles. His name is
nice.
Joseph. I Anson, and he's in the UK, and he has 383,000 followers and imposter syndrome. He says
What?
that's my biggest. And then the girl I interviewed before you, the stylist, same thing. We all have it because as much as people, just like your comments on your page, everybody can have something amazing to say, but if one person, that's the one you gravitate toward, the negative, and you tell yourself, what did I do? You start pointing the finger at yourself. And
Absolutely.
really it's by and large, it's more their problem than yours.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we do to ourselves.
Definitely.
What would you say, Cam, have been some of your biggest hurdles and challenges in this business,
Learning
building
how to
your career?
marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah, that's what I needed. The confidence to be with customers and just really know what I'm doing and feel comfortable with what I'm doing. That came over just repetition. But and a lot of people are worried about being the best. It's not about being the best. It's about staying consistent and accepting constructive criticism. But as far as career wise and actually making money and getting people to sit down when no one knows you, it's marketing. It's showing that's someone that you're here and that you're here to stay, basically. A lot of
Yeah, I'm
times
gonna have to
online.
be chatting with you about that too, because here I show up with the show, reaching out to people and getting my little fill insert when they don't respond. But I'm like, who am I? I'm a blip in their world. They're probably
No,
like, who is this?
you're doing something and you're going to continue to do it until you decide you don't want to do it anymore. But you are something and you are somebody because you decided. It's up to you to decide that. You know what I mean? And people are they're going to see you however you see yourself eventually. Maybe not initially, but eventually when they see that, oh, it's been 2 years, she's got this show, and you know what I mean? I'm going to
I
look back at
love
this.
that. I'm gonna steal that one. They're gonna see
Yeah,
you how you see yourself. I
absolutely.
actually think that's a great just quote, just to remind yourself for inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you like
Mhm.
what you see when you see yourself in the public eye or even in private, then people you're gonna show up that way,
Oh,
and that's what I've realized. A lot of times there's so many things. I'm not perfect. I'm talking about my background or worried about did I curl my hair the right way? You know what I mean? All those things that I know I'm talking to a professional hairstylist, you're noticing certain things, but it doesn't matter. Like I like the way that I showed up and that's just the way I'm accepting it.
absolutely.
And it takes a while to get there. You don't start there.
Yeah, I mean, and the world, people do this in general, right? They're always trying to keep up and measure up and be enough. Pick me, pick me, pick me, right? And
Yep.
it's like we say in church, because I love me some Jesus. Okay, we say, people are they're spending money they don't have to impress people they don't know,
Yep.
because that's what you're doing when you're trying to keep up with strangers.
Yep.
Like, why do you
For
care?
what?
Are you looking to them for approval? Like, what do you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, who pays your bills? That part. Can you share with us, Cam, a particular rewarding moment or success story from your career
A particular moment.
where you're like, you know what, this was pivotal. This is going to change the game. This will change, this was a win, I guess, for me.
I want to say right now, honestly, moving to Phoenix. Um, I had, like I said, I moved a couple of times and had to start over again. And I've done the same thing over and over as far as trying to rebuild. But this time, I feel like being here, the market is not as saturated as, say, Atlanta was or even Fort
Mm,
Lauderdale. Anyone in Atlanta, like there's salons every mile. Like everyone's doing what I'm doing. But here, because so many people are coming from California and just across the country,
yeah.
searching for someone to take care of their hair, or if they've been here for a decade and there's like, I'm tired of these braids, but every time I find somebody, they move, or anytime I find somebody, they end up getting booked up and it's hard to get in. There's so many
Mhm.
different reasons. And
Yeah.
so far, the people who have been coming to me and consistently coming to me, I'm like a savior for them. And I'm like, I've been looking for y'all for 2 years because that's, you
Right,
know.
exactly.
So I've been able to leverage myself in a way that maybe it wasn't as possible um, in the other states that I've worked in. Also, because I don't know if stylists talk about this, but I had a second job most of my career. To be honest with you, I wasn't just doing hair. The way that I'm now, I'm completely like I'm independent, and all of my income only comes from doing hair. But 4 years ago, when when I was in Atlanta, I served tables for 2 days a week while I was building my client base.
Interesting. Okay.
When I was in Florida or in beauty school, I served tables 3 days a week, 3 nights a week, 5 hours for 5 hours, 3 nights a week, and made a few $100s so that I can pay my bills because I don't have anybody paying my bills, you know? And a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people don't talk about that. There was no
No.
spouse, there was no parents to take care of for me to live with so I can not have to worry about it. I'm paying for my education, I'm paying for my car payment, I'm paying for everything that I need as an adult, right? And I didn't have another choice. So a lot of times people are like, you know, they do hair on the side, but for me it was doing those other things on the side because I knew hair was my passion or is my passion. And
Absolutely.
but definitely there were hard times, and looking for something flexible to do while you can still be available for your clients was always a little bit of a struggle. But I knew that, you know, as long as you stay consistent, you're going to get there. So fast forward to
Yeah, and
being
the goal is to not to have to do that forever, right?
correct,
The goal
correct,
is to, like you say, make those the side gigs so that you can eventually, inevitably do hair full time.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
So that was the hustle for me. And a lot of times people, you know, you don't want your clients to look at you differently or to feel like this isn't a real business.
Yeah.
And you know, so of course sometimes I would feel like I wouldn't want to disclose that, and I would just say, here, this is my availability and this is when I have time to do this and to do your hair, and then that was it. So that was juggling, that was a struggle. But
I think people don't talk about it because of the stank it kind of puts on you, like, "Oh, you must not be good
that
at
good.
what you do, or else you wouldn't have to do all of these other jobs." But my, assistant, my former assistant, 'cause I work in a studio now, I don't really need an assistant like I did before, my load is not as heavy, but she did that. She worked for Amazon, she had a studio, she did Uber Eats, you know, whatever it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she had a son and she wanted him to have the best life possible, put him in
Absolutely.
sports, what have you. And hey, it is, she worked at a barbershop and on the side. I mean,
You're
you
doing all
know,
the things
that's what it takes. If that's what it takes, you can only make so much behind the chair. So it depends on what your pricing is,
that.
what your level of skill set is in order to um, deserve that pricing. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
can't outprice your skill set either, or
Right.
else no one's going to come back to you. You know what I
Nope.
mean?
Nope.
And so, yeah, all of those things. So for new stylist, is that, what would you say is your best advice for them, and where do you train? Like where does one go to learn how to do what you do? Like, do you have someone, do you take classes? I see classes with color, balayage, blondes. I see those classes galore, but
Yeah.
where are the classes for textured hair? I don't really see that. Do you?
No. I mean, there are some, but a lot of times they're pretty pricey. And when you're first coming out of school, I don't feel like it's feasible for you to spend $500 on a texture class, fly to Dallas or fly to, you know what I mean, fly somewhere and spend this money if you haven't even made any money yet after, you know, you just spent 25K at Paul Mitchell. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of online. A lot of people don't take advantage of the Pro Beauty Association, I think, or Behind the Chair, which I don't know if I can say that anyway, but it's fine.
I mean, behind the chair, it's a platform.
Yeah. So
And
like,
PBA is also, they're public. I mean, you can
yeah.
say it. Yeah.
Okay. But definitely exploring those online options at this point in time will expose you to things that, you know, you may not see in your salon. Sometimes when if you come out of school and you're working at maybe an older salon or a salon where the stylists have been around for a long time, they're just doing their standard techniques.
Yeah.
So you don't feel, you're learning that, which you need the basics. But
you're not learning new. You're not
nothing new.
learning necessarily trend or the future of our
Correct.
business. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
all of that is important, because what I've learned is that I'll just incorporate what the older techniques, and then when I see something new, maybe you can mix those two together, and that creates the trend, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I've
So as far as
noticed that there's an old technique. They just changed the name. And I think it's hilarious
what is
because
it?
there's nothing new under the sun. Like, really, there isn't. But the Jerry curl is now called the Gina curl. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, bye. That is
Yeah.
the Jerry curl. You can
Yeah.
call it whatever gender
You
you
want.
want, but it is what it is. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. The other funny part are finger waves. The fact that these soft waves or even the harder waves, I remember distinctly, this is the story. I distinctly remember being in beauty school, and my teacher, Mrs. Rogers, I was like, Mrs. Rogers, nobody wants finger waves. Why do we have to practice this? Can we just take the test and move on? And she's like, everything comes back around, honey. Trust me, you're going to see them again. That was in 2008. We are in 2024.
Well, I graduated from beauty school in 1996 and won a finger wave contest. Fun fact.
What?
Fun
So I
fact.
need some training from you.
Yeah, I sure did. I won a contest on finger waves. So that's how old. I mean, and it went on before that, right? The
Of
20s
course.
or whatever. You look at
Right.
Josephine Baker had finger waves,
Yep.
you know, and I
So
still have my finger wave clamps. You would for those peaks. Oh my
yeah,
God, that's so funny.
I'm
And
telling you.
I personally think that finger waves are soft waves are pretty, but the hard ones I think are for a special occasion. That's just my personal
For sure.
aesthetic. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? There's nothing at all wrong with it. And another oldie but goodie is something they're calling the silk press. I'm like, that's just a flat iron, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
people
can't wait
fight.
to have a stylist on who thinks that is new. That's who I want
Right.
to talk to. I'm like, I try, and because I was getting those requests, can you do a silk press? And it's all my young clients. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go on and see what a silk press is.
Right.
And I go and look and I'm like, how is this different?
It's not. It's not.
What, the
The only
shower cap?
thing
Is that what it is? The plastic
the
on it?
right, the final. Honestly, even right now, I mean, for me, the difference would be just adding like a steam treatment to it, just to add hydration. That's
Okay.
because that will make the hair a little silkier. But that people don't talk about that, and I feel like we're in Arizona, so I feel like that hydration is absolutely needed for
For
textured
sure.
hair.
Hair is different here. Hair,
Right.
skin, it's just different.
Everything, and that's something
Yeah.
that I've had to learn too. But definitely, silk press is just a flat iron. But the little thing that I would add on would be probably just hydration. That's it.
Okay. I mean, you can always modernize, right? Like
Yeah.
the bell bottom came back as a wide leg. You
Yep.
know what I mean? They tweaked it. You can
Yep.
always tweak. It makes something different.
Definitely.
Cam, what future goals do you have? Do you see yourself educating people someday as an educator? Do you see yourself with your own salon, traveling stylist? What do you see for yourself?
As far as educating, I'm kind of like self-diagnosed ADHD, so I feel like I feel like I mean, I would have to structure it. I love sharing information with people. I don't have any issue with that. It's just about structuring it in a way that you will keep up with me, because I'm kind of all over the place, right? But education, maybe just a little bit of education. Definitely traveling. I used to want to be like a platform artist at the hair shows, but I realized that I feel like that's a little bit performative rather than actually giving the student exactly what they need.
And I
Right.
hear that. I've heard that behind the scenes, off the record,
Mm-hmm.
that some of the brand deals, then they have full control. You're almost like a robot. You get a script
Right.
and you must say this, whether it's true, not true. This is what you must say.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm
So
going to say. Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. I want to sell real results. I'm not interested in just selling,
Yep.
So as far as traveling is concerned, I love the idea of touring, going to different cities and doing pop-ups. There's a few different stylists that have large platforms on Instagram that go on tours and do transformations and things like that. So I'd be super down for that, just to visit different cities and execute transformations for these women that haven't seemed to found
What
somebody.
does a pop-up entail? Is it
Um,
is it something easy, or is it how much
well,
goes into that? Don't you have to do a heck of a lot of marketing and advertising that you're going to be there? And do you have to secure the space?
have you
Is
heard
that
there's an app called ShearShare? Are you familiar with that?
well, no, do tell.
There's an app called ShearShare, and basically, when you download it on your phone, you put in the city that you'd like to work in, and it basically salon owners put their businesses on this platform and allow you to rent by the day. So so
Stop
that's the way
it.
I've done it. So I've gone to Florida and done a pop up, even though I used to live there, but most of the clients went to someone else. So I did a pop up in Florida, I did a pop up in Jersey and New York, and in a have I done it in Atlanta? I think I did one in Atlanta. But yeah, so basically you sign up, you go and see the dates that you wanna work. You can pay with a credit card if you need to and secure those days. The prices, they vary. So I look for what's the most affordable, but still looking like a nice environment. And secure that spot. You're able to cancel within, I think, 48 hours or something like that, depending on the salon owner's stipulations on the site. And then I basically just put the city that I'm going in. I put those hashtags on all of my photos that I've already posted. And what else? And then
I'm feeling like I'm coughing up dust. I'm so old.
no, you're
How did
not.
I
No,
not
no, no,
know
no.
this?
No.
How did I not know this?
So
I would do
ShearShare
this
is,
with my studio if I knew
yeah,
this.
you could absolutely do that. Well, you have to check your lease though, but I don't know. But other
No,
than
we
that,
can do it.
okay.
Yeah.
So then definitely, yeah, so that's it. And so basically what I did is just start posting and hashtagging along with my current city because I still want new clients in my city. I'll hashtag Jersey, New Jersey stylist, New Jersey short hair, all of that stuff. And then basically everything I did here it's just a little extra step because now I'm trying to reach another city and I'll
That's
start
like being
that.
a traveling stylist. You know how you have traveling nurses? They'll
Yes.
go and work at a hotel or a hospital for 3 months and then be
Hmm.
on to the next. You could
Exactly.
literally it's like the Airbnb of what we do.
Absolutely. And
That
what's
is
wonderful
brilliant.
about it is that once you've done the work at one of those salons, like you're building a relationship with that salon owner. You can keep in touch, you can come back, you know what I mean? And especially if if they like you and you clean up after yourself and all of those things. But
Yeah, and don't steal.
don't steal.
Don't steal their mess. Yeah, that's right.
So I've had great experiences. I mean, sometimes when you show up, maybe the space might be a little older than the photo.
Mm.
Nothing that's
Just
like
like
prevents you from
online, just like dating online and anything else
exactly
online, you get to the Airbnb, you're like, "Oh, this
right.
is."
But that doesn't stop the plug from working and from you being able to set up shop and do what you need to do. And these people know you're coming from out of town. So you get a little bit of lenience because, they don't know you. They don't know if they're going to see you again. And they just wanted to give you a try. So I don't think that has hindered anything from these pop-ups that I've done. So that's really what would be in the future for me. Owning a salon because my children are young at 10 and 3. I don't want to be tied to a building. I don't want to have to go to work every single day and have to be the one to open up shop and close shop. I just I feel that I don't want to be a slave to the business.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I was gonna ask you next. How do you manage your work-life balance? Do you have a good
I
formula?
I just stick to what I have posted on my booking site.
Okay.
In the past, I have tried to bend over backwards or, drop my kids off with my mom so that I can run back and do this client. And I decided that it wasn't worth it to me because people respect boundaries. And when you don't stick to those boundaries, that's when they start calling you at 10 p.m. and say, hey, I know you're off
Yes.
tomorrow, but can
Yes.
you,
Mm.
and I don't want to say that they don't care about you, but a lot of times, you're not seen as a person so much because you have this skill
Oh,
that they need.
you said it right. Most people, they only care about themselves first.
Right.
Right? And that's
So,
just all of us naturally. You
yeah.
first wanna know, how does this apply to me? And then
Hmm.
after that, I'm happy for you.
Right, right, right. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, so instead of me making, I'm missing birthday parties, or I'm missing a soccer game because I just needed to make this $200. But at the same time, you have to kind of think about, okay, if they don't
Was that
respect your,
memory worth $200?
it
That
was
part.
priceless. It really wasn't.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
just that has been me, so that has me sticking to my boundaries has made my life a lot calmer, a lot, me even being able to do your interview today. I just closed my book, and if someone's texting me, I'll answer tomorrow, or I'll answer, you know what I mean? I just
well, I
made it.
appreciate that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a Monday, and I, if I didn't have anybody already, if no one had booked last week or by Friday, then I just closed it
yeah.
because they'll come tomorrow, they'll come Wednesday, they'll come Thursday, and if they can't, then we'll just figure out another day. But it also it allows you to seem a little bit unavailable,
True.
and that's not necessarily a bad thing in certain instances, because you look sought after, and that's important for what's the word, image, I guess.
Oh, yeah. It is, absolutely. For your brand, they would call
Yes,
it today. Yeah, like, for
yes,
your business, you wanna look, you don't wanna be thirsty or appear
right,
that way, right?
right,
Like you're desperate.
correct,
Yeah,
because
and
that makes people that not
yeah,
drive
like,
you
"Why are you
away.
open today? I called you today. Why are you open?" They wanna know,
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe I'll go to somebody who's booked a week out at least,"
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and one thing too, Cam, I wanna touch on real quick, because I have a whole website that I am still paying for, and I realized this year that when the annual came, Square is charging me $383 a year, and it's just me. I used to work with a partner, and we would split the cost, but it still wasn't that much then. But I thought, what is everybody else doing? So
Right,
I started to do, because I'm like, I talk to stylists now, you know, 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to
right.
ask them, like, because nobody has a website apparently but me.
Well, I was working on one, so now that you're saying that, I mean, it may not be necessary.
Maybe just the landing page. Like, I
Landing
have the
page,
whole, like, website, like, multiple pages, booking
yeah,
system embedded, you know. What booking
right.
system are you using? What's the popular one right now? Square?
Gloss Genius is what I'm
Oh,
using.
Gloss Genius. Yeah, I've seen
I
that one for
I
sure.
used Square for like 3 years, but so with Gloss Genius, what I like is I'm able to defer the credit card fees to the client, so I don't pay.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And some people might say something, but so far I've been using it for almost 2 years.
You're
And
right, though, because I've been noticing that now that I'm hunkering down and really looking at my balance sheet,
mhm,
like, because which none of us really do. Like, all that you're putting in, what are you actually bringing
making,
home? Just because you
correct,
get paid every day, it doesn't mean that you're not
making money,
that you're making money. You could be losing or breaking even, right?
right,
Because you get paid every day.
right,
It goes unnoticed, I
yes,
guess. And
yes,
so with that said, I'm looking at these credit card fees. I'm like, so say you charge $100 for a service, you're getting 93.
yes. And that's why some people stick to cash only. And I know that even in my salon, people stick to cash only, but I just deferred it. It gives you the option. It's not automatic, but on Gloss Genius, you get to accept the appointment requests. I don't have to, just because someone books themselves doesn't mean I have to accept it. I can look at, if I haven't gotten a consultation or if I've never seen their hair before, I reach out to them before I accept it, and they have them send me their pictures of their hair. And if it's something that I know that I can do, then I will accept the appointment and it collects their deposit.
And then
And that's it.
that alleviates having to do a separate consultation and consultation fee and these 2 appointments, because that's not
Right.
ideal for
It's
people.
not ideal, but I do offer that via Zoom. I do a consultation via Zoom, and I do charge $25, and that $25 goes towards your service if you book. If you don't book, then I keep the $25. But if it's something, and that's usually when people are just nervous and want to see if I'm a real person, and I know that that's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if someone's just trying to book and they don't have time to schedule a consultation on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock, then I tell them to send me pictures of their hair and the style they're going for, and I guide them through the booking process. But I still make sure everyone books online, because holding that deposit ensures that I don't waste my time.
It's
You
true, and
know?
then you have that credit card number on file.
Yep.
Mhm.
And also it's a paper trail. So I don't know if you've seen in my bio, but I put client communication via email only. It's a paper trail because there have been instances, well, an instance that, someone disputed a charge for my cancellation fee because they no-showed. And I was able to show, hey, these are the pictures she sent me for, for the hairstyle she wanted. This was the authorization. I asked if it was okay to charge for the deposit for this card, and she said, yes, ma'am, go right ahead. I have receipts for everything.
Ooh,
So there was
burn.
no, on her side to dispute. That was, I still even haven't spoken to this person since, but I had everything in line because of the way that I did business from the beginning. You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in. People are litigious, and people, they don't wanna pay.
They don't
They
want to
they
pay.
want all the things for free.
Yeah. And I mean, instead of getting discouraged though, because at first when you see that chargeback, you're just like, whoa, what did I do? Or what happened or whatever. It feels bad. But you have to remember you're running a business and you have policies, and they knew what they were signing up for. So it's up to you to kind of stick by that. I
And
give
you just eliminated too the, need for a landline. You can put whatever number, dummy number you want to reach out to people, and if you
mhm,
require email only, then it's email only, because the last I checked, any company you deal with now, good luck trying to find a human being to
on the
talk
phone.
to.
Right. And there's a no, I have a Google number that I do use for clients, and I just put it on do not disturb when I'm not at work, and if they're on their way to the salon and can't find it, obviously I put it on so that someone can reach me. But
Is that
after
Google number of, is there a cost
I
associated
don't
with that?
I don't pay for anything. I don't pay for that. No. So I mean, I don't know if there's another version, like a upgraded version or something. I never really looked into it.
But not for one person. You
Nope.
know,
It's
you don't
just
need to
me.
be doing. Girl, I think you are economically sound. I love it.
Thank
You
you.
you definitely are someone that, this next generation, including not any generation, can learn from, about a healthy budget and just the ways that you, um, run your business. It makes sense. It's financially smart. You know,
Yeah.
your methodology is you're starting off the right way.
I've tried.
And
I needed it to work, and that's the only reason why all of these things came about. When I realized, oh, I'm paying for this on Square, or I'm paying for,
that's how I
you know,
feel right now. I feel
yeah,
robbed.
yeah. That's how I was feeling, and I said there has to be another way because I have these hands I can do something with. I'm not gonna go and work. I worked at Bank of America for like a year because I was like, you know what? Let me just get this guaranteed money and whatever, whatever. But it wasn't me, and it wasn't lucrative, and it just felt like, okay, well, I don't have to do this to be an adult, to have a grown-up job, or to, you know what I mean? I just
I
felt
totally
like,
do.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna make this work.
Yeah, that Bank of America is like going to work. And, doing hair is like, it's not work because you love what you do. It's a passion, a fire behind it.
Absolutely.
that butterfly feeling when you're like, oh, I get to go and create, and because
Right.
either you're creative or you're analytical.
Right. And at the end of 10 hours, you don't, even if your feet are beat and your back is hurting, you go home and you're like, wow, I did that. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
and seeing all those smiles leave your chair, and how they can give you an inspo picture,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that shape in the
Yep.
hair.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you've been an amazing guest. I got more than I bargained for, which is so special. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate all of your insight.
It's my pleasure.
It's like this is like going to be a wealth of information. This little hour episode, like dig in there, you guys, because there's lots you can pull out of this interview, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. All right, Cam, I know you got a family, you've got babies to pick up, so I'm going to wrap this up and give you your 60-second blowout.
Here we go.
Yes. Are you ready? And I'm going to
ready.
put on. Oh, gosh. Oh, now I can see. Let there be light. I have to fake it all the way until I make it, girl.
Without these contacts, I would not be seeing you. I promise.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny. Okay, I'm going to set a timer.
Okay.
We're going to give it 60 seconds. And I don't know why I turned on screen recording. Okay. Here we go. Favorite hair product?
It's a 10.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite social media platform?
YouTube.
Dream celebrity client?
Kelly Rowland.
Go-to hairstyle for a night out?
Half up, half down curls, big wand curls.
Most used hot tool?
Flat
Or
iron.
hair tool?
Scissors. Shears.
Cat or dogs?
Cats.
Favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie would be Brown Sugar with Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan.
Love it. One word to describe your hairdressing style?
Comfortable.
Favorite place to travel?
Paris.
Straight or curly hair?
Curly.
Now, lastly, make your silliest selfie face. Oh, I love it. Yes. So that is all for this interview. I have a feeling we're going to collaborate sometime later on in life in our hairdressing journees.
We should. I'm really glad that you're local.
Thank you so much, Cam.
You're welcome.
I am going to wish you an amazing week. And till next time, we'll see you then.
All righty. Thanks
Bye.
again. Bye.